I'm here today to tell you about something I am quitting, I am giving up relating to my channel. Hey everybody, Deathblade here, also known as Jeremy Bai. I am an author and a translator and, well, YouTuber as well. And I'm here today to tell you about something I am quitting, I am giving up relating to my channel that many of you, well, probably won't care too much about, but still I kind of wanted to bring it out into the open to make an explanation. And that is that, well, first of all, let me share the screen here. This is my book review playlist, which has 8 videos. I've been slowly plinking away, adding a video here and there on this, and I had actually intended to populate it with a lot more reviews, but I am basically going to be giving up on book reviews, and I don't want to make that a 100% definitive statement because it is entirely possible I will do some reviews of things and put them on here, but I have made the decision to hold back on doing reviews of things related to the content that I create, Chinese fantasy novel translations, and also original content similar to the original content that I am making. Part of this decision comes because as I do this original content and I start to get to know more and more indie authors, I think that it's a little bit weird for me to be doing reviews of their work. I think recommendation is one thing, but I think review is different. For many, if not most of the videos in my review playlist, I talk about positives and negatives. I think that's part of what makes those reviews useful, is because people who watch my channel can know that I'm giving an honest take. But if I know people personally, like for instance, what happens if I have a friend or professional acquaintance who I read their book and I don't like it? Well, I can't very well do a review of it and recommend it and say I like it if I don't like it. And so I feel like it puts me in an awkward position. I don't want to be too direct either about the work of contemporaries, colleagues, and friends in terms of going too heavy on the negative stuff. And so I'm going to step back a little bit. Maybe one day in the future it'll change, but I'm going to sort of take it easy in terms of the reviews. It does kind of suck because I have been reading some things lately that I have been enjoying. As a writer and an author, I think that it is important to be reading books if you want to be a good writer. For years, I was so focused on my translating work and so busy that I didn't really read very much. And so I have been making an effort nowadays to fix that, to change that, to be consuming more fiction content because I think it's important for my writing. In fact, I would like to share a couple things that I would like to recommend. These are not reviews, these are not sponsored or anything like that. First is A Testament of Steel by Davis Ashura, and as you can see on the screen, I purchased this item on August 14, 2021. This is the first book in what is now a 3-book series. The 3rd book just came out a couple days ago, and I do recommend this. It's a really cool novel. One of the things that I had wanted to do when I was considering making a video, a dedicated video about this novel, was highlight the Eastern aspect. So my channel is about specifically Chinese and then by extension Asian stuff. This has a lot of Indian influence as opposed to Chinese, but it is Eastern. It is a more of a classic fantasy world, but there are twists in it that are different from the stuff you normally find in fantasy. So I highly recommend it. I thought it was really fun. The main character is a swordsman primarily. I think the one downside that could turn some people off to it is that this is connected to some of the author's other works. I didn't realize that. I read through the entire first book without realizing that. It wasn't until I started getting into book 2, which I still haven't finished yet, by the way, that I started picking up on the fact that this is actually connected to the author's other works. Now, that could be an upside or a downside. As far as I understand, and I haven't directly asked Davis Ashura about this, I think that that's not important. I think you can read the series as a standalone series. Incidentally, I do also want to state that I do have a professional relationship with Davis Ashura, so I should put that out in the open, and so please keep that in mind as I recommend this book. But he didn't ask me to do this, and he didn't even ask me to read it. I just kind of was interested in it, and so I checked it out. So that's A Testament of Steel. I will have a link in the description and the pinned comment. Another book that I'm reading, and this was actually recommended to me by Davis Ashura, that is Bastion. It's the first book in the new Immortal Great Souls series. As you can see, I purchased it on December 13, 2021, and I have not finished this book yet. I am probably about half through, maybe 2/3 at this point. As you can see, Amazon is showing it as 5 stars. It's actually averaged 4.8 out of over 1,500 reviews. That is really, really good for a book on Amazon with so many reviews to maintain the full 5-star status on the on the little display graphic there. It is a really cool book. I do recommend it. It is a progression fantasy, maybe Western cultivation style novel. It is not anything Asian or Chinese related, and the cultivation system or magic system or whatever you want to call it does not come from Xianxia, and it doesn't even resemble Xianxia, but it is very well laid out and very interestingly described. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the main character or the story. It takes place in hell, which is pretty cool, and I am really liking this novel. I'm finding it a breath of fresh air, and considering it's been so long since I've read much fantasy, it's a real fun way to kind of be getting back into the swing of things. Again, I will have a link to this book in the description and the pinned comment as well. So both of these novels I highly recommend. A Testament of Steel and Bastion, they're great reads. That said, I'm not going to be reviewing them. I'm not going to be talking about the positives and the negatives. In both of these books, there are things that if I was doing a review, I probably would put into the positive and negative aspect, but I'm not going to bring those up. I'm just going to say check them out. I think they're worth it. And going forward, I guess what I'll say is if I don't like something, I'm not going to recommend it. If I do like something, I will recommend it, but I won't go into a lot of detail about it. So what do you think about this crazy decision of mine? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Leave a comment below. Do you have something you would like to recommend for me to read? I am on the lookout for good stuff. Now, keep in mind that I don't have a lot of time to read. I have 2 young children. I get up really early to do a school routine. I work all day, get back for dinner. I then spend family time, put the kids to bed, and by the time I'm done putting the kids to bed, I am pretty much wiped out, and I have time to maybe read a chapter or 2. That's what I'm doing right now with Bastion. I read basically a chapter a night, sometimes half a chapter. Given how long this book is, going down here, you can see it's listed as 829 pages in print form. So it's a pretty long book, and it takes me a while to get through stuff. So I can't read super long series. This relates to the Chinese cultivation stuff. A lot of people have suggested that I read certain Chinese cultivation series or review them or whatever. Unfortunately, they're so long that for me, it's just not possible. Back when I was in high school and I could sneakily read under the desk while the teacher was talking, I was able to read tons of books. But given that my work is writing, I don't have any, I can't read and write at the same time, so I'm only able to read in spare time. So please do keep that in mind. Okay, that is it for this video. Again, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video. Godsala.